Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I'm here with you with lecture number 15, and as we discussed earlier in lecture 13 and 14 we saw a DVD of King Lear, and we were discussing how the situations take place in his times, and one thing to be noted over here is that King Lear is one such play which always evokes a lot of curiosity and a lot of thinking and discussions into a human being's mind. And you really think that if such circumstances happen to you yourself, what are you going to do? So natural real lifestyle जो creations हैं वो शेक्सपियर की हैं, and एक और चीज़ नोट करने वाली है कि शेक्सपियर इज़ एक्चुअली डिपिक्टिंग हिज टाइम्स. सो हो सकता है कि उसके टाइम्स में भी ये कोर्ट्स में इस तरह की कनाइविंग और स्कीमिंग और किलिंग्स एंड मर्डर्स एंड पॉइजन्स ये सब कुछ चलता हो. सो आपको एक छोटी सी चीज़ और याद करा दूं कि कल जैसे हमने देखा कि गॉनरल पॉइजन रीगन, उसमें ये हुआ कि वो पॉइजन की जो बॉटल थी वो मेडिसिन बॉक्स में रखी हुई थी. मेडिसिन बॉक्स में पॉइजन की बॉटल अब तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं होती है, लेकिन यू कैन इमेजिन कि वुंड्स को क्लीन करने में या वुंड्स के लिए कुछ थोड़ा सा उसके अंदर मिक्स करके वुंड्स में लगाने के लिए वो पॉइजन यूज़ होता होगा. सो इमेजिन कि किस तरह के वो टाइम्स थे कि आपको अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ दीज थिंग्स वो भी मौजूद है और आप किस तरह से इन सब चीज़ों को अपने साथ लेके चलते हैं. लाइफस्टाइल क्या था, how people started working in a different manner, in such manners as they were discussing all their infidelities and schemings and everything. तो ये सब चीज़ें आपके सामने आई और आज उसी के सीक्वेंस में हम ट्रेजेडी ऑफ हैमलेट, प्रिंस ऑफ डेनमार्क, वो स्टार्ट करेंगे. आई वॉन्टेड टू डू दीज टू टुगेदर बिकॉज इनमें बहुत सारी सिमिलैरिटीज़ हैं, इनमें बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो आप देखेंगे और आपको पता लगेगा कि किंग लियर और हैमलेट जो हैं वो काफ़ी क्लोज हैं. इन दोनों को इकट्ठे स्टडी करना वुड बी मच मोर प्रॉफिटेबल, और इसीलिए इनको पैरेलल आप इनकी कंपैरिजन्स कर सकेंगे. एंड प्लीज़ रिमेंबर दैट इन योर एग्जामिनेशन you are going to be discussing these two tragedies together, because the answers should be very, very comprehensive and they should be very close to the study of Shakespeare. So if you have studied just one play, that is not going to be enough. ये बात मैं आपको बार बार कहती हूँ कि एक चीज़ पढ़ना जो है वो इंग्लिश लिटरेचर में या किसी भी लिटरेचर में काफ़ी नहीं है. आपको दो तीन चीज़ों के कंपैरिजन्स देने होते हैं, कोटेशंस डालनी होती हैं, कोट करके कैरेक्टर स्केचेस को जस्टिफाई करना होता है. सो प्लीज़ रिमेंबर ऑल दीज थिंग्स एंड यू विल सी कि ये किस तरह से सारी चीज़ें डेवलप होती हैं. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द ट्रेजेडी ऑफ हैमलेट, प्रिंस ऑफ डेनमार्क. हैमलेट इज़ द सन ऑफ किंग हैमलेट, and what has happened, the king Hamlet has died और उसकी एक मिस्टीरियस सी डेथ है, जिसमें कि हुआ ये है कि अब जो प्रिंस हैमलेट है उसकी मदर ने अपने हस्बैंड के ब्रदर से शादी कर ली है, और हैमलेट के पास किंग हैमलेट का घोस्ट आता है और उसको बताता है कि आई हैव नॉट डाइड but I have been murdered and I have been killed. So ये चीज़ें बड़ी अलार्मिंग हैं. आपको याद होगा कि हम सुपरनैचुरल भी डिस्कस करते हैं. मैकबेथ में भी इसी तरह से सुपरनैचुरल एलिमेंट्स हैं, किंग लियर में भी हैं और आपके हैमलेट में भी यही सब चीज़ें हैं. सो दीज आर द सिमिलैरिटीज़ विच गो अबाउट, विच गो अराउंड. और आई होप कि आपने किंग लियर को भी इतना ही इंजॉय किया होगा और उसको उसकी सही स्पिरिट और उसकी सही ग्रिप जो है वो आपके सामने आई होगी. सो वी विल रीड दिस एंड देन इंशाल्लाह वी आर गोइंग टू वॉच द DVD on the tragedy of Hamlet. Eleanor, a platform before the palace. अब ये सीन क्रिएट हुआ है and imagine Shakespeare portraying a palace at the background. उसकी कुछ तस्वीर लगाई होगी या बड़ा सा कोई बैनर होगा और उसके आगे एक प्लेटफॉर्म जो है वो सेट किया होगा. So imagine अपनी इस सिचुएशन को अपने उसमें स्क्रीन पे, माइंड की स्क्रीन पे आप इसको इमेजिन करें. Francisco at his post entered to him Bernardo. So these are the characters. Bernardo, who's there? He's asking that who's there. Francisco, nay, answer me, stand and unfold you. So he says that you answer me and unfold yourself, meaning tell your identity, tell your identification. So Bernardo says, long live the king. So ये इनका एक salutation थी जिससे कि हमेशा ये लोग इसी तरह से ये कहा करते थे, because this shows that their love for the kingdom and that they are not traitors. In fact, they are very much for the king. So Francisco उसको पहचान लेता है. Bernardo, he says that yes, I am Bernardo. Francisco, you come most carefully upon your hour. He says that you're being very careful and you have come really, carefully, and this is what it is, that I am really amazed at you, that you are very quietly coming into the castle. Bernardo, 'tis now struck 12, get thee to bed, Francisco. He says it's very late in night and you can go to bed. Francisco, for this relief much thanks, this bitter cold, and I am sick at heart. Now, these are the wordings which are a little attention seeking, because he says that it's very cold. Now imagine a very cold, dark night, and Francisco says that I am sick at heart. It means that I am feeling very uneasy and I'm not all together with this situation, and I feel that something is going to go wrong somewhere. So this is what he is saying, and very much rightly so. Bernardo, have you had quiet guard? Francisco, not a mouse stirring. So he says that nobody moved, and I'm very careful and I'm on the watch. So these are the guards at the palace, front of the palace, and they are taking care that nothing should go wrong. So he says that even a mouse did not come close by. Bernardo, well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, with them make haste. So Bernardo says that you are going, and if you see Horatio and Marcellus, tell them that I am waiting for them and I am on duty, and when they come I will be off duty. And tell them to hurry up, make haste, meaning hurry up. So this is again I would say that archaic English, and modern English is say थोड़ी सी different है. Francisco, I think I hear them stand. Who's there? Enter Horatio and Marcellus. Horatio, friends to this ground. So this is what he has said, Horatio, friends to this ground. Now he says that I am also one of the allies, and I am not any kind of traitor over here, so I am identifying myself. Marcellus, and league man to the Dane. He says I am the league man to the Dane. Francisco, give you good night. So he says I am giving you good night because I am leaving, and I will see you soon. Marcellus, O farewell, honest soldier, who hath relieved you. Francisco, Bernardo do has my place, give you good night. So Marcellus is inquiring that who has taken your place. So tell me who this person was. And now I am, Francisco replies that Bernardo has taken my place and I am giving you good night. So he exits and he goes away. Merciless, hola Bernardo. Bernardo, say. What is Horatio there? Horatio, a piece of him. He says, I am also there. Bernardo, welcome Horatio, welcome good Merciless. Merciless, what has this thing appeared again tonight? So now again, Merciless asks again and again whether this thing has appeared again tonight or not. So now here is the mystery element coming up, it is building up. And Merciless, these people have witnessed a ghost and they have seen somebody around. So basically, and this is what is happening, that Merciless is again inquiring that did the ghost come here, come today also? So let's see. Bernardo says, I have seen nothing. He says, no, not tonight, I have not seen it. So the element of mystery is starting from the beginning. ठीक है, guards change हो रहे हैं और वो एक दूसरे को identify करते हैं with the wordings God save the king, and then these other soldiers come in and this is what it is. So I have seen nothing. Merciless is now saying to them that Horatio says this but our fantasy and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him alone with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it. So again he says, Merciless says that I have invited Horatio to come and see, witness what we have witnessed all together. And here they will also realize that they have seen it 2 times, this apparition, ghost, something which is not real, and they have seen just a shadow passing by across the castle. So actually the king Hamlet is encircling the castle, and his dead spirit is very uneasy because actually he has not died a natural death, but he has been killed and he has been murdered. So this is what their beliefs are, and it is also our belief that if somebody dies an unnatural death, his spirits, keeps on haunting the place. So यहाँ पे ये चीज़ आपको बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लगेगी कि जैसे हम कहते हैं कि खुदकुशी गुनाह है या किसी को मर्डर कर दिया जाए तो उसका सोल जो है वो भटकता रहता है, और नेचुरल डेथ जो है वो स्पिरिट को ऊपर ले जाती है। अननेचुरल डेथ जो है वो उसमें लोग जो हैं वो ये करते हैं कि बड़ा उनका एक वो यहीं कहीं दुनिया में भटकते रहते हैं और उन लोगों को टॉर्मेंट करते हैं जिन्होंने कि ये एक्ट किया होता है। सो दिस इज़ व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग। देयर इज आल्सो अ मैसेज इन दिस ड्रामा शेक्सपियर का कि अगर आप किसी को मर्डर करते हैं या यू किल समबडी, तो उसका जो आपके ऊपर इफेक्ट है कभी आप उस चीज़ को, उस इवेंट को अपनी लाइफ से नहीं निकाल सकते, बिकॉज यू हैव डन समथिंग टेरिबली रॉन्ग। और ह्यूमन नेचर जो है वो बेसिकली ह्यूमन नेचर जो है वो अच्छा ही है, और यही अच्छाई जो है वो अगर इसमें थोड़ी सी हम बुराई का एलिमेंट डाल देते हैं तो वो चीज़ हमें हॉन्ट करने लगती है। तो इमेजिन करें कि यहाँ पे यही चीज़ जो आपके सामने आई है कि इसमें ये भी मैसेज है कि कोई गलत काम ना करो, बिला वजह किसी की जान ना लो, क्योंकि फिर वो चीज़ आपको हॉन्ट करने के लिए आ जाती है। आपके सामने वही चीज़ मौजूद होती है और आप कभी भी अपने आप को फॉरगिव नहीं करते। सो यू नो द मैसेज ऑफ गॉड दैट एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग इज बॉर्न इनोसेंट अनटिल एंड अनलेस उसमें अच्छाई का पहलू ज़्यादा है और बुराई का पहलू कम है। सो अगर आप बुराई की तरफ जाते हैं तो आपकी अच्छाई, जो इनर गुड सोल है आपका, वो आपको ज़रूर आपको टॉर्चर करेगा, ज़रूर आपका कॉन्शियंस आपको प्रिक करेगा कि यू हैव डन समथिंग रॉन्ग। सो दिस इज़ व्हाट वी बिलीव इन, दिस इज़ व्हाट ऑफ कोर्स द क्रिश्चियनिटी का जो रिलीजन है वो भी यही बिलीव करता है कि अगर आप किसी को अननेचुरली या अनड्यूली हर्ट करेंगे तो आप भी कभी चैन से नहीं बैठ सकेंगे, आराम की, सुकून की नींद नहीं ले सकेंगे। सेम इज द केस विद मैकबेथ, कि उसमें लेडी मैकबेथ जो है शी गोज क्रेजी बिकॉज शी हैज कमिटेड अ मर्डर, और उसने उसमें जो है वो एक पार्ट प्ले किया था, तो वो अपने आप को ब्लेम करती रहती है अपने लिए। यू नो शी कीप्स ऑन वॉशिंग हर हैंड्स बिकॉज शी सेज दैट देयर इज ब्लड इन हर हैंड्स। सो मैसेज फ्रॉम शेक्सपियर, telling the audience, telling the people, telling the court, telling the conniving people around him कि इस तरह से अगर हम बिहेव करेंगे तो इस चीज़ का रिजल्ट क्या निकलने वाला है। सो अगेन थिंकिंग अबाउट इट, ऑफ कोर्स इफ वी डू समथिंग रॉन्ग हमारा कॉन्शियंस हमें ज़रूर ट्रिक करता है। सो द एपरेशन हैज़ नॉट कम। Horatio, tush, tush, it will not appear. He says, be quiet, hush. And if you keep on talking, if you keep on saying things, it will not appear. Again, जो spirit है, वो जब लोग बातें कर रहे होते हैं तो नहीं आती। ये भी एक बड़ा interesting idea है in front of us, और हम भी इसके ऊपर believe करते हैं। Bernardo, sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we have 2 nights seen. So Bernardo says that sit down, and we will also try to listen what we have seen in the previous 2 nights. Horatio, well, sit we down and let us hear Bernardo speak of this. So they all sit down. Bernardo, last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illumine that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating 1. So at the beating of 1, the apparition comes out in the night. Enters the ghost. So again, this is the ghost of the King Hamlet. And here the situation is created by Shakespeare giving out, you know, a mystery in the scene, and people must have watched with amazement and a lot of interest what is going on around here. Marcellus, peace, break thee off, look, where it comes again. Bernardo, in the same figure, like the king that's dead. So you see, Bernardo says that he is appears dressed like the king, and the king who is dead. Marcellus, thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio. Now you see, very important lines over here, that you are a scholar. It means that it looks like a very, very intelligent ghost, and you are a scholar and you are a respectable person, so probably and maybe the ghost will talk to you. So this is what Marcellus tells Horatio, that you are the one who can actually talk to him, because you are very sensible and you are very scholarly and you have a good name in the palace, in the castle. So try to speak to the ghost that has appeared at the strike of 1. Bernardo, looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio. Horatio, most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder. So he says fear and wonder both are together, like this. So he is fearful and he is amazed at this supernatural sight. Obviously, अगर आपको कोई supernatural चीज़ नज़र आए तो आप भी fearful भी होंगे, because it is not human. So anything which is superhuman, which is beyond human, will look very, very different and very, very different from what we actually see. So here the wonder, amazement and the fear element both are together. Bernardo, it would be spoke to. Marcellus, question it, Horatio. Now again they're all asking Horatio to talk to the ghost. Why? Because he is a scholar. So somebody with a good sense and somebody with a good knowledge and somebody with a lot of respect should be able to communicate with the ghost who looks like the king, who looks like the respectable king who is dead. So an element of respect in both the situations is there. So even in his death, King Hamlet has not been forgotten. In fact, he is respected, and they have chosen Horatio to talk to him. Then Horatio says, what art thou that usurpest this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form, in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak. So here please also note that they are talking in a poetic manner. So again, element of poetry, music, rhythm and a sequence, वो सारा कुछ जो है वो शेक्सपियर के आपके फोटे हैं, और शेक्सपियर thrives in on all these things. So बड़ी यूनिक शेक्सपियर की राइटिंग्स हैं, और आप जाहिर है कि इसको किंग लियर के साथ जब टैली करेंगे तो you will know, wherever you find Shakespeare's lines, आपको फौरन पता लग जाता है कि शेक्सपियर की लाइन्स हैं, because they have a uniqueness in them, and that is what makes him a genius. So here he is saying that usurps this time, like uses this time, इस टाइम को तुमने अपने कब्जे में किया हुआ है. 1 o'clock का जो टाइम है, रात का, ठंड का, डीप नाइट का और कोल्ड का, तो you have taken this time, and you are just like the king who is of Denmark, who is buried now. So I ask you to speak out. Marcellus says, it is offended. So perhaps the spirit is moving away So that is why Marcellus says that it is offended, उसको अच्छा नहीं लगा, and he is going away from the actual scene. Bernardo, see, it stalks away, goes away. Here. Horatio, stay, speak, speak, I charge thee, speak. Very bold of Horatio over here. Very bold of Horatio that he says that please stay. He is asking the spirit, the ghost, to stay and talk to him. And now imagine the situation and imagine the hush among the audiences who are witnessing this play in a very amazing manner. And what is happening? The scene is created of a dark, cold night, and there are soldiers who are at the castle, and they are changing guards. So and they are discussing that they saw the spirit of the dead king, and now they have invited Horatio to speak to the king also. Exit ghost. So the ghost goes away. Okay. Marcellus, 'tis gone and will not answer. He says that it's gone away and it is not going to answer. Bernardo, how now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What this you on it? So Bernardo is asking Horatio now that you are trembling and you look pale. So again, if you see something very supernatural, और कोई spirit आप देखते हैं या कोई ऐसी चीज़ आप देखते हैं जो कि out of the ordinary हो, तो उससे फिर आपको trembling होती है, shivering होती है, और आप pale हो जाते हैं, because it is not a normal phenomena which is happening. So खुदा न खास्ता कोई spirit आप देख लें तो इस तरह की situation आपकी हो जाती है, and which is very very clearly portrayed by Horatio, that he starts trembling and all the color from his face and cheeks goes away. So he says that isn't this something more than fantasy? But this looks like more than fantasy because it is for real and you have seen it with your own eyes. So they are trying to basically realize the fact that they have actually seen a ghost. Like of course आप अगर ऐसा कोई ghost देखेंगे तो आप confuse होंगे कि शायद ही मेरे जहन की कोई creation है और ऐसा ना हो, ऐसा नहीं हुआ होगा. लेकिन जब 2, 3, 4 लोग उसी चीज़ को बार बार देखेंगे तो they will decide, they will think कि yes, it is possible, and we think that we have seen the ghost. Horatio, before my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes. He says that I would not have believed it if I had not seen it with my own eyes. Marcellus, is it not like the king? So he says that, isn't it like the king? Horatio, as thou art to thyself, such was the very armour he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. So frowned he once, when in an angry parley he smote the sledded Polacks on the ice. 'Tis strange. He says that yes, it looks like the dead king, because he looked the same way as when he went into a combat with Norway. So again, the king is, the spirit of the king is in a rage, basically, because of course harm has been done to the state of Denmark and harm has been done to himself as an individual, of course. Marcellus. Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch. So he says that he has gone away now, and I don't know whether he will come back or not. Horatio. In what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. Now Horatio, as they all claim that he is a scholar, so here when we discuss the strange eruption, so this is what he is saying, that this is something very, very strange that has happened, and I don't know, I cannot comprehend and understand what is actually going on. Marcellus. Good, now sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war, why such impress of shipwrecks, whose sole task does not divide the Sunday from the week. What might be toward that this sweety haste doth make the night joint laborer with the day? Who is it that can inform me? So a very long speech by Marcellus, and imagine कि ये इतने मुश्किल wordings जो हैं ये जो actors थे वो याद किया करते थे, और कितने feeling और कितनी expression के साथ उनको deliver करते होंगे और बोलते होंगे. So now अब तो जैसे ये होता है कि आपने एक ड्रामा में गलती कर दी तो रीटेक हो गया, उसमें एडिटिंग हो गई, उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स जो हैं वो रिजॉल्व हो गई हैं, बड़ा क्लियर, क्लीन एंड विदाउट एनी फ्लॉ ड्रामा आपके सामने आता है. बट उस वक्त ऐसी कोई भी चीज़ नहीं थी. देयर वर नो हाई टेक कैमरास, देयर वर नो हाई टेक रिकॉर्डिंग्स, और किस तरह से उन्होंने ये सब कुछ जो है वो किया होगा, दैट इज़ एब्सोल्युटली amazing and worth praising. So he says that what is going on, because there are so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon? So why are we fighting every day, and there is war going on, and there is shipwrights? Why such impress of shipwrights whose sole task does not divide the Sunday from the week? So you see, even on a rest day, which is the Sunday, they are not resting, and they are fighting continuously with cannons and warships and all these things. So can anybody tell me what this labor is going to bring? So here there is basically food for thought in Marcellus's speech, because what he is saying is that if we are fighting so much and there is so much of bloodshed, what is the use of all this? अगर आप इसकी deeper meanings को देखें तो आपको भी यही समझ में आएगा कि आज भी दुनिया में जो लड़ाई हो रही है, जो जंग हो रही है, जो wars हो रही हैं, उनका रिजल्ट जो है वो नेगेटिव ही निकल रहा है. एंड सो राइटली सेड बाय शेक्सपियर कि सिर्फ ब्लडशेड है, डिस्ट्रक्शन है, और किलिंग्स हैं, फैमिलीज तबाह हो जाती हैं, घर तबाह हो जाते हैं, स्टेट्स तबाह हो जाती हैं, और फ़ायदा क्या निकलता है? व्हाट इज़ द बेनिफिट out of it? So this is what he is trying to focus here. आप ये देखें कि बड़े tactfully, बड़े carefully शेक्सपियर जो है वो social, political, economical and even domestic, personal जो problems हैं, जो cheatings हैं, जो bad doings हैं, उन सबको अपने प्लेस में वो सामने लाता है, और ये चीज़ें जो हैं वो आपके लिए बहुत थॉट प्रोवोकिंग हो जाती हैं कि उस वक्त भी ऐसा ही सिचुएशन थी और आज भी we are not peaceful, we are not at peace with each other, we have jealousies, we have competitions, we have unhappiness, we have rivalries, and अपने घरों की जो हिफाजत है वो हम सही तरह नहीं कर रहे और अपनी रिलेशनशिप्स को स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं कर रहे। तो ये सब चीज़ें जो है ये क्यों हो रही हैं, और सोसाइटीज़ जो हैं, आई वुड से इन माई हम्बल ओपिनियन कि सोसाइटीज़ जो हैं वो डिटीरियोरेट कर रही हैं। वी आर एज मच savages today as the actual savages were, because killings जो हैं वो तो किसी भी प्रॉब्लम का, किसी भी मसले का हल नहीं है। So these are the things what are happening, and we have to deal with all this. So ये बड़ी significant एक speech, इसको obviously आप लोग पूरा तो memorize नहीं कर सकेंगे, but maybe some part of it can be memorized and quoted according to the situation of the state which you may need to depict in one of your questions. तो ये portions देख लीजिएगा। ये जो है ये एक अच्छा पार्ट है। ये 2 लाइन्स आप कोट कर सकते हैं। लाइन्स कोशिश करें कि वही कोट करें जो कि आप रिमेंबर कर सकें, मेमोराइज कर सकें। इफ़ यू आर अनेबल टू मेमोराइज इट, देन डू नॉट पुट द कोटेशन मार्क्स अलोंग इट। और कोटेशन मार्क्स उसी वक्त डालें जब आपको पता हो कि आपने ये लाइन्स वर्ड टू वर्ड वही रिप्रोड्यूस कर देनी है अपनी असाइनमेंट में या अपने फाइनल एग्जाम्स में। So these are good lines. By such impress of shipwrights, whose sole task does not divide the Sunday from the week. ठीक है? Horatio, that can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereto pricked on by a most emulate pride, dared to the combat in which our valiant Hamlet, for so this side of our known world esteemed him, did slay this Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he stood seized of to the conqueror. Against the which a mighty competent was gauged by our king, which had returned to the inheritance of Fortinbras, had he been vanquisher, as by the same convenient and carriage of the article designed, his fell to Hamlet now, Sir young Fortinbras, of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes for food and diet to some enterprise that hath a stomach in it, which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover of us by strong hand and terms compulsatory those foresaid lands, so by his father lost, and this I take it is the main motive of our preparation, the source of this our watch, and the chief head of this post, haste and romage in the land. So this very long speech of Horatio, that he talks about Fortinbras and the fight and how Hamlet fought, and then the apparition also coming, and this is why these people have been allocated the place to guard, so that they are then able to safeguard the entire kingdom. Bernardo: I think it be no other, but even so, well may it sort that this portentous figure comes armed through our watch, so like the king that was and is the question of these wars. So he says, Bernardo says, that even this figure who is coming up to us is actually the king who led all these wars, and he was such a valiant and such a marked soldier in his times. So that is why the spirit is uneasy, unhappy, and has not left this world. In fact, it lingers around over here. Horatio: a mote it is to trouble the mind's eye. In the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the graves stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets. So they are recalling the wars that have happened earlier. As stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun and the moist star, upon his influence Neptune's empire stands, was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse. So now here you will be able to compare these lines with King Lear's lines when he says that he swears on Jupiter, on Plato, on Juno, on the stars, on the seas, and on the moon. So the similarity of those times, culture of swearing onto these gods and supernatural elements. And even the like precurse of fierce events, as harbingers preceding still the fates and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our climatures and countrymen. But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again. So this speech of Horatio, as they have earlier said that he is a scholar, he's talking about Rome, and he's talking about the disasters that have come up, and he's talking about swearing on Neptune and swearing on doomsday, and he says that everything has gone wrong, things are not right. So perhaps the spirit has heard all this and is now trusting Horatio. That is why it comes again. So see the idea, the spirit behind it. The whole speech has again forced the ghost to come back. Re-enter, ghost. I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, that may to thee do ease and grace to me. speak to me. So, the ghost re-enters, having the faith or the confidence in Horatio that it can come again and it can trust these human beings. So here Horatio is saying that you have to speak. If there be any good thing to be done, he says that if I can help out, if I can do something right, if I can, be of any kind of help, please speak to me, illusion. So apparition, ghost, illusion, इस तरह से Horatio is being very, very bold to be able to talk to the spirit and to be able to know what it is going to, tell him. That may to thee do ease and grace to me. He says that of course you are unhappy. That is why you have not been able to go up and you are, haunting this place and you have something to tell us. So your heart is heavy, that is why you are not being able to be, lifted up to the skies. So बड़ी डीप बात ये हमारे सामने आती है कि this he is saying कि जो स्पिरिट अनईजी हो, जो खुश ना हो, वो स्पिरिट भटकती रहती है और जब तक कि वो अपनी सही बात ना मनवा ले या अपना रिवेंज ना ले ले या लोगों को सही बात कन्वे ना कर दे, तब तक वो रूह जो है वो इधर उधर भटकती रहती है. दैट इज वेरी वेरी ट्रू. सो यही चीज यहाँ पे किंग हेमलेट के साथ हुई है कि वो उसका घोस्ट जो है वो हेवंस की तरफ नहीं जा सका. So he says, speak to me. Then the cock crows, if thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, O speak. Or if thou hast uphoarded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which they say, you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it, stay, and speak, stop it, merciless. So the disturbance has come, the cock has crowed. So the spirit is probably going away, and Horatio is continuously begging him, asking the spirit, the ghost, to stay, to tell him what is wrong and why his heart is so heavy that he wants to say something to these people, he wants to convey something to them, and he has not been able to go up to the heavens. For which they say, you spirits oft walk in death. So you have extorted treasures in the womb of earth. So you have some secret to tell us. And until and unless you tell us that, you will not be able to go upwards. Marcellus, shall I strike at it with my partisan? Horatio, do if it will not stand. Bernardo, 'tis here. So the spirit is moving about. And the spirit is ready to go, and Horatio is trying to talk to it and make it stay for a while. Horatio, 'tis here. Marcellus, 'tis gone. Exit goes. So again, probably they had started striking him with the sword, and that is what made the ghost go away. Obviously, it will not stay if human beings are going to attack it. So we do it wrong being so majestical to offer it the show of violence, for it is as the air, unvulnerable and our vain blows malicious mockery. So again, Marcellus says that it is very majestical and we should be very respectful towards it, and we should not show violence to it because it is then going to go away. Bernardo, it was about to speak when the cock crew. So another thing, that the disturbance from the birds or the early morning signs, फिर वो स्पिरिट्स जो हैं वहाँ से चली जाती हैं. सो ये रात के अंधेरे में ही निकलती हैं और ये उन्हीं लोगों को कांटेक्ट करती हैं जिनको उन्होंने कांटेक्ट करना हो, कोई सीक्रेट बतानी हो, कोई अनटोल्ड बात कहनी हो, तो घोस्ट और स्पिरिट्स फिर उस वक्त आते हैं और सुबह से पहले पहले वो चले जाते. सो कॉक क्रोइंग इज द साइन ऑफ अर्ली मॉर्निंग. Horatio, and then it started like a guilty thing. Upon a fearful summons, I have heard the cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill sounding throat awake the god of day, and at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine, and of the truth herein this present object made probation. So here Horatio is saying that the cock crew, and that was a sign of morning coming up, and these God's creatures go away at the sight of morning. So the spirit has gone off. Marcellus, it faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ever against that season comes, wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated. The bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say, no spirit dares stir abroad. The nights are wholesome, then no planets strike. No fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is the time. So he says that the spirits go away very, very quickly. The birds of dawning singeth all night long, and then they say, no spirit dares stir abroad. So when the birds start singing, the spirits go away and go back to their places. Horatio, so have I heard, and do in the part believe it. But look, the morn, in russet mantle clad, walks over the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Lines of Horatio again. He says that a very poetic, description of morning coming up. So Shakespeare was a poet in himself as well, and he loved nature. He was very close to nature, and he used to depict natural beauty as it was. So the breaking up of dawn is a supernatural element which is governing the whole universe. जैसे सुबह होती है और जैसे शाम होती है, उसके कलर्स, उसके ह्यूज जो है वो दे आर इनडिस्क्राइबेबल, दे आर सो ब्यूटिफुल एंड दे आर सो अमेजिंग. सो यही सारी चीज़ें हैं जो कि पोएटिक ब्यूटी को डिस्क्राइब करती हैं. एंड ही सेज दैट dew of yon high eastward hill, break we are, watch up, and by my advice. So again he says that morning is coming up, and I have an idea that the spirit which is dumb to us, which does not speak to us, will definitely be able to talk to young Hamlet, the son of the late King Hamlet. So here we will now find out slowly, gradually. The scene is being made for Hamlet to appear, and he is a young prince, very much confused and very much loved his father and his mother, but the mother's conniving nature comes on to him, and he is very much upset and unhappy in his situation. So right now Hamlet is grieving because his father is dead. So here the situation is being built up in these lines, and we will see the entrance of Hamlet, because all these soldiers have witnessed the ghost of King Hamlet, and how these people are trying to talk to the ghost, but the ghost does not talk to them. In fact, it is appearing every day. It is giving a message that it wants to see a particular individual. So वो हर दूसरे सोल्जर को लाके उन्होंने चेकिंग की है, टेस्ट किया है कि ये आखिर किससे बात करेगा. एंड होरेशियो को एंड में ये आइडिया आता है that probably he is going to talk to his own son Hamlet. So let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life this spirit dumb to us will speak to him. He says we will go and share this knowledge with Hamlet, and we will see what he says. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty. So again, love and duty, both are together. Horatio, you will find, is one of the persons who is very close to Hamlet, who is very dear to him, who is very honest and sincere with the prince who has been harmed. So this is what he will be doing, that he would be telling Hamlet to come and talk to the spirit. He will be sharing that we have seen the spirit, and they have actually seen it, because there's no just one person who has seen it. There are a lot of people who are a witness to it. That's yes, at the strike of one, a ghost appears, and it looks like the dead King Hamlet. So they have a very good idea to bring his son onto the scene, so that the king is able to talk what is grieving him, what is upsetting him, and then he will be able to go with the light heart up on to the heavens. So it says our love and both our duty bids us to do this. Marcellus, let's do it, I pray, and I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently. Then they exit. Scene 2, a room of state in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Hamlet, Polonius, Laertes, Voltimand, Cornelius, lords and attendants. So here first was the scene of quiet and darkness and gloom and cold, and it was outside the palace. Then it is a room, the second scene is in a room of the state inside the castle, and all these individuals are coming in. So King Hamlet is dead and King Claudius has taken his place, his brother. And he has even married the Queen Gertrude, Hamlet's mother. King Claudius. Though yet of Hamlet our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him. Together with remembrance of ourselves, therefore our sometime sister, now our queen. He says, although we have the memory of our dead brother is still green in our hearts, but it is for the betterment of the state that we have married the queen of the wife of Hamlet, and now she is the wife of Claudius, the present king. See these lines? Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen. So see, sister giving another dimension to the incestuous relationships, the wrongdoings, wrong relationships of individuals. If you take an individual as a sister or a brother, how can you think of marrying that person? So immorality, immoral behavior, these are also some elements of Shakespeare's plays. और ये बड़े sensitive elements हैं जिनको कि शेक्सपियर ने बड़ा carefully portray किया है. And all these things, you know, must be happening in these courts, in the houses of these nobles, because there is a fight for women, for power, for money, for possession, and all these things. So these are focused in Shakespeare's plays. As you see the comparison of Lord of Burgundy, who declined Cordelia's hand in marriage because she did not have any dowry. So you see, people were very practical at that time, and if they don't find monetary gains, so वो individual की भी इतना value नहीं करते थे उसको. So here again, these two people have married in a haste, too quickly, and he is now making excuses that to run the kingdom we did all this. So these lines are important. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen. The imperial jointress to this warlike state have we astward with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and drooping eye, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage. In equal scale, weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. these lines. Here we will discuss them. That he says that these are two, he's comparing two opposites together, he's bringing them together. Drooping eye, crying eye, and excited, happy eye. Mirth in funeral, joy in funeral, and dirge in marriage, like I am not very happy to do it. He's just covering himself up, and he says that I am not very happy to do it, but the time was such that I had to marry the queen, and I've been forced by nature to do this. And mirth in funeral, like happiness in funeral, because you see there are double meanings in it. Deep down inside, he is happy, and Gertrude is also happy in the death of King Hamlet. So यहाँ पे आपको double meanings मिलेंगी. In equal scale weighing delight and dole, unhappiness और happiness दोनों equal scale पे हैं इस वक्त. So he's making excuses, he's covering himself up for his treacherous doing, his conniving and scheming plot, and he has taken Gertrude as his wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all our thanks, now follows that you know, young Fortinbras. Holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame, colleagued with the dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father, with all bonds of law, to our most valiant brother. So much for him. So now he is, lauding Fortinbras. Now for ourselves and for this time of meeting, thus much the business is, we have here writ to Norway, uncle of your young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gait herein, in that the levies, the list, and full proportions are all made out of his subject. So they've sent a message to the uncle of Fortinbras that the war should be ending. You, God Cornelius, and you, Waltermand, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king more than the scope of these dilated articles allow, farewell, and let your haste command your duty. So he is giving instructions to the people around him, because now he has become king and he is in authority. Cornelius Waltimand. In that and all things will we show our duty. So Cornelius says, in that and all things will we show our duty. All things. These lines are important because here Cornelius is saying that we will be doing our duty in everything, because the cheating is very much obvious to the people उधर किंग हैमलेट की डेथ हुई और यहाँ पे फौरन ही क्लॉडियस ने गॉनरल से शादी कर ली and he became the king. So how these things are happening? Very obvious that they have their ulterior motives, they have their personal agenda at hand. So he says that in everything we will show our duty. कि वो उनके जो ट्रू फेसेस हैं उनको भी अनरिवील करेंगे. King Claudius, we doubted nothing, heartily farewell. Enter Voltimand and Cornelius. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? That shall not be my offer, not thy asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes? So again, the king is asking Laertes that what is your object, what are you thinking, and you must speak to me, and you must have your heart and head should be one. Laertes, my dread lord, your leave and favour to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark, to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon. So he says, Laertes says that my duty is done now, and I have seen your coronation. You have become the king, and I must go now because France is calling me back. So he wants to go away because he has also seen mischief taking place in the state. King Claudius, have you your father's leave? What says Polonius? So there is entry of a lot of characters now. Laertes and Polonius, of course, is his father. These two people were very close to King Hamlet, and the Prince Hamlet also takes their advice, considers them as his very, very close friend and confidants. Lord Polonius, he hath my lord wrung from me and my slow leave, by laboursome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go. So Polonius says that Laertes wants to go away, and please give him the permission to go. King Claudius, take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now my cousin Hamlet and my son. So now, here we see the first ever, appearance of Hamlet. Hamlet basically is dressed in black because he is in mourning, and King Claudius gives Laertes the leave to go and shifts his attention towards Hamlet and calls him my son. So now, by relationship, after marrying Hamlet's mother, Gertrude, Claudius has become the father of Hamlet. So here we stop for this lecture. There is introduction of a ghost. There is introduction of Horatio. The important characters are Laertes, Polonius, of course Hamlet, and Gertrude, and King Claudius. And this is how the situation is building up, and the usurped throne of King Hamlet has been taken by his own brother Claudius. And the queen Gertrude has not wasted any time in marrying the king, the new king, who's Claudius. So people are sensing mischief. They are unhappy at the death of King Hamlet, and they are very unhappy at the early marriage of Gertrude with the brother of the late king. And Hamlet is also sensing it. He is a very sensitive individual, and as the ghost is lurking around the palace, that absolutely indicates that something is definitely wrong in the state of Denmark. And because the spirit has not been able to go away with a light heart. So the people have seen the ghost, and they're also concerned what does this spirit wants from them. And then they have decided, Horatio has decided, that he will talk about the spirit to Hamlet, and he will ask Hamlet to talk to the spirit of his father. So here we end our lecture number 15. See you inshallah in the next lecture. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.